Don't blink or you'll miss the magic of this rustic gem Mooli Gosht. Yes, that's right, radish curry. Don't screw your face up, because this will have your mother-in-law weeping with joy. We're going to start this the same way I start all of my mutton curries, by pressure cooking the meat first. So in with 2 diced onions and then a kilo of mutton, then a good tablespoon of ginger and garlic paste and about 1/4 cup of passata. I'm also going to chuck in about 300 millilitres of water just to help it along. Set it on a high heat with the lid on, and you're going to let that come to a really good simmer for about 20 minutes. So I'm using the long white radish. I'm just going to slice these about 1/2 centimetre thick. I'm also adding in carrots because they bring a really nice sweetness to this dish. Now that this has been cooking for about 20 minutes, we're just going to turn the heat off, leave the lid on, and let it just come back to normal pressure on its own, which will take about another 20 minutes. That way the meat will just keep cooking. This has now been sitting for about 20 minutes. If your cut of meat is not done, then just whack it back on the heat for another couple of minutes and then leave it to come back down to the regular pressure again. So you can see it should just break away nice and easy. You don't want it too soft because we're still going to continue cooking. I'm going to transfer this into a bigger pan because it will just make it easier to cook. Now I'm going to set this on a high heat and we're going to let some of that water cook away. So it's up to you at this point if you want to add any oil or butter. Maybe me. Obviously I'm going to go in with some butter. We're going to start adding our masala in. And then enough chilli to make your tongue remember you're alive. And then we're just going to mix that through carefully so that the spices can start to release their flavours. And now we're going to stir in some yogurt for tang, so about 4 tablespoons. And then we're just going to wait for that all-important oil separation. And now the riot starts. Radish might seem odd in a curry, a bit like someone wearing socks with sandals, but trust me, once it's in there, it's pure comfort. Then the carrots go in too. These are just going to give you a subtle sweetness. And then once that's all mixed in, you're going to add in about a cupful of water, and that will just help the meat to finish cooking, and it will also give the mooli a helping hand too. Just give that a gentle mix, and then we're going to leave it on a low heat to simmer with the lid on for about 10 minutes. Once your mooli's all cooked, you're going to sprinkle in your fresh coriander. And at this point, if you want to dry off any of that water that's in there, you can, but if you want a bit of extra masala, you can just leave it in there. Growing up, we used to have this with roti. But honestly, this actually goes brilliantly with roast or mashed potatoes, or even some crusty bread for an East meets West twist. If you've never tried radish in your curry before, then now's the time. It's a proper rustic Punjabi dish. You never know, it might just become your new favourite winter warmer. Go on, what are you waiting for? Make me proud.